Hello and welcome. You're joining us for another 2SRL race, this time at Russia. Joining me on stream, we've got Dead Pixel, who'll be my
Oh,
co-commentator for the day, so welcome to the stream.
thank you.
And if the SLR race yesterday was anything to go by, this is going to be an epic race. We saw penalties playing a huge part, as they always do in Russia, with the track limits. And we have a stellar lineup in front of us. Look at some of those names in front of us. We got the EGL boys themselves, Terror, Bance, and Hugo. Is Speedy there? Yeah, Speedy's here as well. And also, we've
Yep.
actually got the EGL champion, well, one of them, Jensen89 there. Uh, and, I mean, Revo, he's not quite what he was, but he's still a contender. And
Still a fast boy.
yeah, he's still on his day. He's very good. If this was iRacing, it would be game over for everybody. Um, yeah, so let me see. I'll just get the camera set up. Let's see. We know the guys like to see some of the details come up on screen, so we'll put on fitted tires for now. And the the real strategy here. I mean, I did the SLR race yesterday, and pretty much everybody. Well, yeah, everybody did the soft to medium. I mean, I did medium to soft, but everybody went out on soft
Yeah.
in quali, so it's definitely the
Yeah.
tire to be on.
Yeah. It's pretty easy to do the one stop on soft to medium.
Yeah,
So
and another thing to consider is, if you do if you do qualify outside the top 10, medium to soft is a strategy worth checking out, because that last stint, initially, if you can just hang in with the midfield, your last stint is going to be a very fast one. Um,
yeah.
unless you're me, of course, in which case it's just
Yeah.
average
I mean,
at
like if you
best.
can hang in the DRS, that gains you so much time, which probably negates the different tire grip. So it will make you very fast at the end of the race.
Yep.
I think this one will be a really interesting test of skill because basically half the field is using Jensen's setup.
That seems to be the way of it. So, someone comes up with a great setup, and then it's just like everybody just nicks it. Then.
Yeah.
Um,
But unfortunately, you can't hide setups in time trial.
yeah, that's the thing. I mean, Icewind's usually he's a good one to go to for setups. He's my guy, my setup guy. Does very solid setups. But let's have a look at we've got Tipsy here. There was a bit of traffic getting backed up there, and traffic may actually play a part in the qualifying here and hold up a few guys. And um, you can see Tipsy here is on an outlap, and he's got two cars very close ahead of him. So it's going to be interesting to see who on this first run goes top of the board. Um, I know Tipsy has put in a lot of practice here, so we're just kind of watching him. He seems to be quite tidy so far.
Yeah, neat enough.
Yeah, you really want to use all the track here. I mean, I played it really cautious yesterday because I knew that I didn't have a real chance at this track, because you really need to put a lot of practice in and really, you know, uh, get the grips with the car on the track. And what do I say, a car going off to the side there, getting out of the way at Tipsy, which is great to see.
Oh,
Timo
Thimo got
qualified.
disqualified.
Oh my word,
Yeah.
that was quick. Wow, that is not good. That is definitely not good. I mean, that was. He didn't get a lap in. He didn't even. Did he even get a out lap in?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's pretty bad. But we're seeing the cars crossing the line. Speedy was first with a 1:31.5, which is a decent lap. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a very
that's
good.
pretty fast off the bat for your first lap.
Yeah, we're probably going to see Pool a low 31, or else we're probably going to see a few 130s on the board. Tipsy's,
Potentially, yeah.
yeah, Tipsy's kind of fallen down the order a wee bit, but 33 flat is pretty decent from him.
Yeah. Danny's really fast as well. I was
Yeah,
in voice with the boys doing practice earlier. I wasn't doing practice myself, but Danny was consistently setting purple sector ones in their quality practice, so he'd be
yeah,
one to watch.
yeah, he definitely is. He's one of the fast boys. I mean, I sometimes don't kind of consider him one of the fast boys because he has so many issues in race. Usually internet related, connection problems. But Yeah, I mean, like on his day, he is fast, and sometimes he just shows up and he's just, yeah, he's on another level. I think in the SLR race, he was running like in third at one point, and just got third taken away from him by Popo, who he just did better in the penalties. But that's what we're gonna need to keep if we can. I think yesterday someone said it's best to have a spreadsheet handy so you can note down all the penalties coming in, because they're going to come in thick and fast, and it is hard to keep track of, but it can have a big impact on the final standings. There's Jesse Gaming is
Yeah.
he's retired from the game, so
Like we saw Popo like, I don't know, maybe 10 seconds off the top three, and he got the podium purely because of penalties.
yeah.
So
And
like there's such a big factor here.
shameless self plug here, but I actually was I'd say I wasn't really good at Russia yesterday, but I only got one penalty, and I was able to get P10, so I got my point in the end. So
I mean,
I was a happy boy.
whether or not you're pushed to only get one penalty in Russia is really impressive.
We're shouting out for the guys in chat. You know, keep us on our toes here. Are the audio levels good? Anything you want to see on screen here? We've seen the guys do their first run, but Clara he's doing a second lap on these softs here. Interesting strategy.
Yeah.
I mean, ideally you just want to do one lap on these softs so you can kind of take them longer in the race, but we'll see. You know, maybe over 2 laps, the second lap might be maybe a bit faster.
Yeah. I mean, the tire wear here is basically non-existent, so you can kind of get away with that. Like it's not much.
Yeah, and reports are coming in that the audio levels are good, so that's great, because I just went for an old man lap before getting the shout up to, you know, the call up to do the commentary here, so it was a bit of a last minute kind of throw together to get the stream up and running, but for some reason it's all going pretty well so far. Hopefully I haven't cursed myself. Yeah, Clara is coming into the pits, so that, yeah, a bit of a, he must have just backed out of that one. This pit entry as well is a wee bit haphazard, you know. I remember in F1 2018 there was like some kind of bug, you know, where even if you came into the pits, you know, the correct manner, the correct speed, whatever, it would just give you a penalty.
Yeah, it's very. This is just a bad track in general, penalties wise.
Yeah, a lot of drivers think it's a boring track, and I think what they mean by it is, like, you know, as you're driving it, it can be a boring track, but you know, for people watching, it can be very exciting, and it can throw up some exciting races.
Yeah.
So let's have a look.
In terms of,
sorry, go ahead, Pixel.
In terms of driving, there's only really one kind of corner, which is like a medium speed 90-degree corner. There's not really any flowing corners. Like it's not really a flow track, so it can be quite boring to drive.
Yeah, and overtaking can quite, you know, I mean, you've got the two DRS zones. The main one is the start finish. Oh, there's a car just getting out of the way. Oh, Speedy there. It looked like a. Was that Revo?
Is spun around, I think.
Milos.
Yeah, facing backwards. He did this last time out in Singapore as well, so it's interesting strats.
So Milos is Kurtz for anyone watching who doesn't know, and we know Kurtz can be a fast boy, but recently, maybe over one lap he can be a fast boy, but recently his consistency isn't great, so we may see him struggle throughout the race. He's currently P8 with a 32.5, but here we are with Speedy. He's just going through sector 3, and I mean, Speedy, what can you say about this guy? Like, Speedy by name, speedy by nature. He's on the pad, no assists. Just incredible what he's able to achieve, but it looks like he's pulled out of that lap, so maybe invalidated that there.
Yeah,
Daniko
interesting.
is just behind him then, so yeah, we'll just have a run down the order. It's Speedy in first currently, Daniko in second, and Terror in third, Jensen up in fourth, Hugo fifth. Nicholas 6th, Toto 7th, 8th, Triton, which very good showing from Triton, yeah. As we see Danico completely cut a corner there, so he's obviously abandoned this lap.
Yeah, a little cheeky.
And yeah, just to finish the order there was Kirsten 9th and TipsyBob 10, but we're going to see that shaking up a wee bit as these guys do their second run. Danico abandons his hot lap and is in the pits. So Nick is up to second. Great lap from him, a 131.6, just 0.1 off Speedy's time.
Yeah. Terror has improved as well. He's on a 31.6 as well. 18 thousandths between him and Nick, so that's really fast from Terror.
Yeah, absolutely. Like anything in the 31 range is just, yeah, it just blows my mind because I think my fastest lap so far, you know, in a race session is like 33 flat.
So OceanChief.
I prefer to think of myself as like average chief. I just need to find myself a league with like really, you know, incredibly slow drivers so I can, you know, feel good about myself for a change.
Join AOR NA.
Yeah, tier like 22. Or do what Curse does, you know, find a really, I don't know, like
find
amateurs.
split 4 of a Polish racing league.
I just need to learn Polish and I'm good.
Yeah. Or I'm sure for a small fee, Milo should handle the communication side of things and just let you drive.
Yeah, so a lot of drivers in getting their final set of softs on for their final run. Has been a bit of a shake up there, but at top is still Speedy, as dominant as ever. With Nicholas in second, Terra in third then. Some other, I think Icewind, he's put himself up to 8th, which is great late, and Toto in 7th, so I believe there's a whole question around Toto, and I know he gets a lot of pressure and a lot of stick about it, but is he using the racing line for this race? I heard he was saying that he wouldn't, but if he was doing terrible, he would put it back on.
He has said that he will not use racing line for the rest of the season, and depending on how it goes for next season, he will or will not use racing line. But he's been doing pretty decent, so I think he'll just drop it for good.
Yeah, I mean, he's been getting some grief on Discord, and I know it's all in good banter, but I'm sure it is getting to him, you know, the pressure is on him. And, you know, it's worth mentioning, like, most of these guys are no assists, and I know the likes of Triton, you know, this season he's been totally no assisted and had to switch off the racing line, and I know he struggled a bit, but he has had some really great performances, and I can just see him getting better and better as he gets more experience under his belt.
Yeah, he definitely has the pace, just not really the look. Certainly not the last while. Doesn't always help himself, but he's been quite unfortunate at the same time.
So who have we got out at the minute then? We've got 4 minutes left on the clock, so we're going to see pretty much everybody out on track, but Speedy is out at the minute on a run.
Yeah, I think he's improving.
And he's just about to cross the start-finish line. And he does indeed. He's got the 1:30.951 on the board. What a great lap from him.
I think Speedy's thrown down the gauntlet. I'm not sure anyone can beat that.
That is going to be hard to beat. I mean, that's going to take some doing. But we have guys that are capable of on their day beating Speedy.
Yeah, definitely.
Jensen, of course. Terror gets a mention.
Yeah.
Even the likes of Hugo, and you know, there's a few guys that can throw in throw a spanner in the works.
Yeah. On his day, Nick definitely turns up as well, so I wouldn't count him out either.
Yeah, absolutely. I've seen him in AGL, and he's sometimes you know, because of the company he keeps, he kind of gets outshadowed a bit. But I mean, yeah, he's very, very consistent, very, very fast. He's even like shown up as a reserve in SLR, and just I think he might have won our first race of the season in season 3.
Yeah, he did. I believe. Yeah, I think he might have.
Yeah, I think it was one of the first races anyway. And then there's we've got Adrianov, or who I will refer to as Adam because it's a lot easier to pronounce, is in fourth. So great lap from him there, 131.9.
Yeah. I've taken to calling him recently Adira Villeneuve.
Nice.
Choose which Villeneuve you think it is. Well, yeah, I'm pretty sure Adam doesn't have pink hair and speak like an absolute twat about
Oh,
random things.
Terror had a moment there. He lost the back end and slammed pretty hard into the wall, so he's going to have to abandon this lap. I think this is.
Yeah.
I don't see any damage, but yeah, that is going to compromise that run massively. So he's kind of he's not going to have a final run at this, but currently P3 and Jensen as well. Is he on an? He's retired. I think he must.
He's retired. Yeah.
Speedy as well is out of the session. So who have we got left? We've got Nick is on an outlap of Hugo as well in the Red Bull. He's coming around the final corner and puts himself into fourth with a 131.7. Great lap there.
Yeah. I think Terror did the wall smack pretty perfectly because rear end damage basically does not exist in this game.
Yeah. Sometimes you can get away with it
because apparently that's realistic. I don't know about you, but I'm not so sure.
Yeah, there's a video on my YouTube channel where we were just messing around in Russia and Ice tried to kill me at turn 1, but because he spanned me around, the back end just slammed into the wall, he died and I was able to carry on and win the race.
Nice. Subscribe to OceanChief on YouTube.
Yes, please. If you want to see a lot of
quality
carnage.
content.
A lot of P10s on there. If you want to know how to do P10s, it's all on there.
A lot of P10s and the occasional Neil Diamond cover on guitar.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Yeah. Variety is the spice of life, as they say. Yeah. We've actually got Luigi in chat. He's one of the tier 2 SLR guys. I believe he is in a 2SRL as well, so you may see him in a 2SRL race in the future. And we've also got George M, who's trying out for SLR at the minute. He's very keen to get a seat and to start league racing with SLR. So shout out to those guys. And we see Icewind just crossing the line here. He puts himself up to 7th position with a 32 flat.
Yeah, that's a pretty decent effort.
Who else we got? We got Danny Co as well. Currently P8. Just coming down the back straight.
Yeah.
Revo's retired from the session. P13 for him.
Terror's bailed on his lap. Oh, Slash hit the wall and destroyed his car and retires from the session. So he definitely won't improve on his no lap time set.
Yeah, that's he's going to give Thimo some company at the back at least. It's very thoughtful of him. As Danny Co,
really
wow, Danny Co puts in a P2, 131.5, just pips Nicholas for that second position. So he's on the front row of the grid currently.
Yeah.
I don't think we have anyone else out there that can set a time. Oh, Noel actually. Oh no! Yeah. Just as I go, he just swings around the corner there, and I don't think this is going to be a very fast time because of it.
Yeah. So
using all the track
from Danny and Terror, all in the 5s and 31 5s, and there's a great performance speedy.
So, yeah, you're cutting out a wee bit, Pixel. I got what you said there. Yeah, this grid is going to be pretty. Look at that. Speedy in first, Danny Co second, third, Nick, fourth, Terror, fifth, Hugo, sixth, Jensen, and as you can see, Adrianov, Icewind, Curse, Tipsy make up the top 10 of this grid. P11, interestingly, I wonder if Bance will try that old medium to soft strategy. And I know I keep referring to it, but the SLR race yesterday, Bance took part in it, and as always, put in some great performances. It was like side by side with another driver for about 2 sectors. Unfortunately, met his demise as he came around a corner full speed, and there was a car completely across the track, and he could do nothing but avoid it. So he was taken out of the.
Well, there's a bit of a story there. He
Oh,
could have done more, but
yeah, I kind of caught it on stream a wee bit. I mean, there's two cars had a coming together, but it looked like they were right across the track, and they weren't ghosted either. So, um, yeah, maybe he could have taken evasive action, but yeah, it's sometimes when you come around a corner, you don't. That's not what you expect to see, and it is, you get that moment where you either have to, take evasive action, or you're gonna die basically. So, fortunately, Bance died yesterday, R.I.P. But he's back to race another day today. So
R.I.P. that band's gone but not forgotten.
yeah, this is what we call a redemption race. So hopefully a good one for him today.
Yeah.
So here we are on the formation lap. One thing I didn't actually ask about was the weather. It does look a bit cloudy, and I know to SRL they do a coin flip to determine. Oh, and Terror's out of the session.
Yeah.
Can you send him an invite just in case he needs one?
Yeah, will do.
Yeah, so weather could come into effect here. I don't know if anyone has any intel in chat. But we'll keep an eye on that. It does look a wee bit. It looks like there's a wee bit of moisture in the air.
Yeah, it looks a
Hopefully,
bit murky.
it does murky. I like that word. Hashtag murky. Yeah, hopefully it isn't gonna rain. I want to see a dry race today. Terra is back in the session. That's great to see because his car was ghosted there. That Bance has gone for the medium tire for his first stint, as has Triton, Clara, Keyboard / LP, and Thimo. So we'll try and keep an eye on that strategy as it plays out. If Bance is able to, make up a few positions and just hold off the soft runners, I think the soft guys are going to be pitting. Or I'm just guessing. My memory isn't great, but I think it's around about lap 11, 12-ish.
Laps 9 to 11 are kind of the ideal range
Right,
for the soft tire pit.
Yeah, and the mediums can run. You could probably get them to last the whole race, to be honest with you, but obviously you want to get the maximum out of the soft tires first.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So,
So Speedy with a pretty... Oh, yeah, I was just going to say, their tires still ghosted, but yeah, that's right. That is going to put him at a bit of a disadvantage, because he can only take control of his car once the lights go, I believe.
Yeah, I think that's the case. So
that's really gonna compromise his start. So we may see Terror drop a few positions here, maybe. We'll try and keep an eye on that as well. So, oh, here we go. The tension builds.
Yep, the hype is real.
And Thimo with the first challenge activated.
Yeah. Well, I think Thimo is just trying to do the toothpaste car cosplay.
Okay,
let's just hope he doesn't do the George Russell Russia cosplay, because that would not be very nice.
And the lights are up. It's 4, 5 lights, and it's 2SR Russia, and away we go. And someone got a really bad start there. I think it might have been Jensen. I'm not too sure there.
That was Adam, and there's carnage in the back.
But up front, Danico is actually
has some damage.
Yeah, Danico's in the lead of this race. He's managed to get a really great start. Yeah, and he's ahead of Speedy going into the second corner here. Speedy is not going to like that one bit, but yeah, what's going on behind there?
Slash has died. I'm not really sure how, but his car was just kind of stopped at turn 2, so
yeah.
Rip Slash.
Looks like most of the grid got away pretty safely there. Bance up to P8. And where's Terror? Terror's actually got up to P3. That is phenomenal, considering his issues at the start there.
Yeah.
But Speedy is all over the back of Danico. Danico's going to feel the pressure. I hope he's
Yeah.
had his gammon today, or else he's gonna, yeah, he's gonna really feel the pressure
Yeah.
here from Speedy. I mean, you know, I often say, like, whenever I'm racing, it depends on who you have behind you. You know, it does really play a part, and you know, it's like a big mental challenge. You know, if you got the likes of Speedy behind you, like I don't know about you, Pixel, but I'm just like, yeah, it's game over. Like I just may as well pull over to the side here and let him through. But
Yeah.
likes of Danico is not going to be so accommodating. I don't think he's legitimately in the lead and he's legitimately fast, but whether or not he can hold off Speedy, and we're seeing a change at the back there. Icewind drops a position. Vance got him. Just going for the final sequence of corners there. So yeah, it looks like all cars but Slush have got away nice and safely, and
Yeah.
Slush is in the pits currently.
Yeah. I think Thimo might be going for an overtake. Hype in chat, please.
Oh, I need to get this on
Oh.
camera.
Oh no.
Oh
It
no.
didn't come off.
I thought we were going to see a miracle there on screen, but it's not to be,
Yeah.
unfortunately, guys. Not today. maybe later today. Oh, and Timo goes very wide there, and
Yeah.
just gets back on track
I
just in
think,
time. Oh, and there's
yeah.
a change of position up top. Speedy has actually gone into the lead. It looks like they're side by side going into. Ooh, that was tight. Yeah, that was a bit of a close one there, but Speedy has got the lead and is going to want to stretch his legs here a wee bit. But lap 2, no DRS available to Danico.
Yeah.
But let's see if he can get a good run on Speedy coming up this long straight. Looks like
He's close.
yeah, he's very close,
But
but
not close enough.
and you know who's close as well? Terror is right on the
Yeah,
back of these
he's still
two.
there.
That's
He's definitely still there.
yeah, these two fighting is really playing into the hands of Terror, so he's going to see that and probably just sitting there biding his time. Goes a little bit wide there in the exit, but should be grand. No penalties so far that I've seen come up on screen. TipsyBob in P9 currently just behind Icewind.
Yeah. So Jesse has a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pits. So
yeah, I'm sorry. We've
his
seen
race is
a change
effectively
at the
over.
front against Danico is made the
Yeah.
use of the little amount of slipstream you actually get in this game on the start finish straight, and has gone into P1 again. So this is quite a battle up front with these three. Terror's just watching these two battle, and it's playing right into his hands. Speedy just having a wee look down the side there, letting Danny know that he's just waiting. And Jensen in the background, and Hugo as well.
Yeah. Speedy and Danny will be DRSing each other, so I think Terror is probably just content to sit behind and let the penalties work themselves out and go for it later on. Because that's a huge consideration here with how easy they are to get.
Yeah, there is a battle here for P4 with Hugo and Jensen running very close together. In fact, I would say like the P1 to P7 are all very, very close together right now.
Yeah, it's quite close.
A little bit of a gap from Nick to Jensen, but yeah, Speedy just keeping Danny honest on his gearbox. I think Danny's just having to use it just a wee bit extra ERS just to keep the momentum going here in P1. Danny Kola fastest lap. Let's see if that changes as the drivers cross the start finish line. Yeah, a driver in a really good position right now is Bance in the P7 position. He's on the medium tires, and as I say, you know, if he was able to grab a few positions at the start, which he did. Oh, Jensen 3-second time penalty.
Yeah,
There's the first significant one coming up there. And someone getting a wee bit wider. Look like Tipsy.
Yeah.
Or no, not Tipsy, sorry. Toto in the background there had to take a bit of a evasive action there. Want the scenic route.
Yeah. So Bance is right there, really.
Yeah, he's on the medium tire, so you know he can run to potentially, what do you reckon, like around lap 19, 18 to 20 probably, and then put on the softs.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And he gets a nice cutback on Nick there. That was a really nice move.
Yeah.
But I think Nick might get the DRS on him, so...
Yeah, we've seen this
It's unfortunate.
in previous races. You know that there is a bit of a strategy there with the DRS. I mean, but fair play to Bance. He's actually held that
Yeah,
position. Yeah, even
yeah,
with the
he's definitely
DRS.
one of the better defenders.
So he
But
was the
I
he
don't.
was. Sorry, go ahead, Pix.
Yeah, I don't think Nick's heart was in it with that move, to be honest, because he had to fend off Icewind as well.
Yep, TipsyBob 3 second penalty coming up. So we're seeing these coming in pretty fast now as the warnings. Oh, who's that pitting? Who is that? Is it Nick?
That's Nick.
Oh, he's in the pit. So I wonder, is he got damage? He must have. That could explain his poor run for that back finish straight. Is there a front wing waiting there
Yeah.
for him?
Yeah, there is a front wing change, so he clearly has some kind of damage.
Yeah, that's a shame. That's going to put him out of contention for the front of the field, because even the smallest amount of damage on the wing is like over the court. You know, you're in lap 5 here. You've got 22 laps to go. That is going to really compromise you. You know,
Yeah.
your lap times are going to be affected. So that might be a good move from him just to get that fixed early, and he can run to the end of the race
Yeah.
on those mediums as well. So
And he's in clean air as well, so potentially it could work out like a massive undercut. It'll be vulnerable at the end of the race, but he can make the most of it while
yeah,
it's there and turn it into something.
there's Revo, a 3 second penalty, and we did miss a pass up front there. Speedy has got the lead. He's actually got a bit of a stretch on. 0.9 is the gap.
Milos has DNF'd. Oh, that's a huge incident. I think he tangled with Noel, but he's properly dead.
Oh no, R.I.P. Cursed, gone but not forgotten.
Yeah.
I didn't see
A
that
generational
myself.
talent.
Did you catch that yourself? Like what happened?
So I only saw as Clara was going past, but based on the time when it happened, I think he touched Noel and then went into the wall and lost his one of his tires.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of debris there, so
Yeah.
must have been quite the
He was
impact.
pointing in the wrong direction as well, so it was a pretty hefty impact.
Oh dear, and someone we haven't mentioned creeping through the ranks here is Thimo. So has he actually passed some people? And we didn't get it on
He
camera.
must have made a few overtakes. Yeah.
Well, here's a question: if Thimo passes people, but it's not on camera, did it really happen?
If you can't prove it, then it didn't happen.
Another pass here with Terror on Danny. So sorry for not catching that.
Yeah.
A lot of action to try and get on screen here, but yeah, Terror has got past Danny Co. Danny Co's kind of his pace has fallen off here a wee bit, but Terror obviously wanted to get the jump on him to try to keep within range of Speedy. So the gap to Speedy from Terror is 1.1. And Revo another 3 second penalty, that's 6 for him so far. Bance in P6 on those medium tires, 4.2 seconds behind Jensen. So he's doing alright. If he can just try and hang on to this front 5, he will be good for the last stint of the race.
Yeah.
In fact, he might be the race leader come the first round of pit stops then.
Yeah, definitely. He's not losing that much touch with the leaders either. It's fairly contained, the amount of time loss on the mediums, so he could be a factor towards the end.
Yeah, indeed. And Kitty and Chad saying R.I.P. son, first gone but not forgotten.
Yeah. So I think just off the bat, for his exceptional performance up to that point, Milos is the driver of the day.
Automatically, yeah. And look at this, P6, Toto has got that band's Icewind, TipsyBob all on his gearbox right now. And seeing Triton going very wide there in the background. Triton and Revo having a little bit of a battle of their own there. So a lot of battles to try and keep track of here. Another one up front there for P3. Oh, there's another
Slash
DNF.
has retired.
Slash is out. He's deed. R.I.P. Slash and
Jesse. And Jesse has retired as well. So they must have had some kind of coming together, I think.
Yeah, I'm thinking Sector 3. Sector 3 is very easy to lose on it. Quite a twisty part of the track and a lot of elevation change. The grip isn't.
You really have to throw it in, so the rear end can be kind of on the edge
Yeah,
sometimes.
we've seen a move there. Jensen on Hugo for P4, and also Icewind. Oh, Icewind! Oh, he clambers against the wall and comes back on the track. That was almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was almost
Yeah.
carnage there. I think Icewind, he's down in P11 now, but he probably will come into the pits here. I
Yeah.
suspect his damage.
He doesn't have damage though, not that I can see anyway, so he might be okay to continue. But yeah, he's coming in.
Yeah, I can't see any damage, but he must have damage because it was quite an impact he had there.
Yeah. That said, it's just a little bit shy of where you would want to be pitting anyway, so it might work out fine for him. But it'll be a bit of an opportune undercut.
Yeah, indeed.
That said, he might have to change his wing.
I don't see a front wing there, so
No.
maybe he's just
I guess
thinking.
maybe.
Yeah, I think he's just thinking if I get in now and get away from this traffic, but where he comes out is going to be important. He might well come out in traffic. You know, you've got a lot of battles back towards the back of the grid there.
He was fairly in the thick of it, so he'll have the pace advantage on Vance, who is effectively the leader of that group that he was in. So he could potentially undercut this group, which would be a pretty high IQ move. I think it's fair to say.
Oh, few penalties got into the first one. Jensen with another 3 seconds. I think he's got 6 seconds now. So yeah, I mean, Speedy and Terror and Danico, I'm not sure. I don't think they have any of those have any penalties. Can you check that, Pixel, if you can?
Yeah, I can check that.
So we've got Terror is he's in DRS range, as is Danico, and Jensen and Hugo are all within DRS range of each other. So there's a battle here from P1 to P4, P5. And that Vance is doing a really good job of hanging in there. He's 6.2 behind these guys, but these guys are all kind of fighting amongst each other. So this is looking really good for that Vance. If he can just keep it, you know, keep that pace up, and just keep his head down, as Icewind would say, head down, head down. I don't know like how this is going to play out, and by the end of the race, but potentially, you know. I don't know, podium or P1 maybe?
Yeah.
Be great
he
to
doesn't
see.
have any penalties yet, so that's good.
Yeah.
Jensen has 2 penalties, so I think he's probably not in contention at the minute.
Yeah. And I think he's aware of that now, and he's like actually putting the hammer down. He's trying to get past Danico here, and he's going too wide into this fast right-hander and makes the move stick. Danico gets the cut back, and Jensen runs wide. Ooh, who's going to get the corner? Oh, Danico squeezed him a little bit on the apex, but good racing here. I didn't see any contact, but yeah, very close racing, and Jensen just gets the move done. But Danico will get the DRS, and Hugo is on the back as well, so there's a bit of a DRS train between the three of them.
Yeah.
Hugo just tucking in behind Danico. Danico looks like he's able to make it around the outside. He's got the inside line for the next corner. And Hugo and Jensen side by side in sector 3. I think Jensen's going to get this the good line for this corner, but then Hugo, if he can keep it. Oh, let me run back. Yep,
I think
Hugo.
Terror is close enough to go for the lead on the front straight.
Right, and we've got Jensen in the pits there as well, so he's just he's had enough of that battle. He's maybe going for the undercut. But yeah, Terror right on the gearbox. So Speedy, is he going to make a move on turn 1? He's thinking about it, but he's...
I think he wants to save his battery and keep the DRS for now.
Yeah, Speedy's 32 on his battery, and Terror's 36. So it's pretty even Steven up there.
Yeah, there's not much point in them fighting at the minute because they are gapping Danny.
Another battle here is TipsyBob and Toto. Looks like they're running very close. Oh, TipsyBob had to back out of that. I think Toto got his line wrong, and that compromised Tipsy, who's now fallen back into the clutches of Triton. So just as we expected, some great racing here, and it's tough to keep an eye on all the action. I mean, as I say, Thimo up to P10 now. He's on the back of Keyboard Magnussen, the guy who gets plenty of praise for for using the keyboard
Yeah.
I think it's better suited to some tracks than others, so it looks like it's not too bad for him so far in Mother Russia.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I would expect this to be one of the better tracks for the keyboard because it's not a flow track, so you can afford to be pretty methodical into the corners. So
I
that
think
probably benefits the kind of the
oh,
binary manner of
Toto and Tipsy.
keyboard.
Sorry, Pixel to interrupt you there, but yeah,
Yeah.
Toto and Pixel were side by side, and Tipsy is in the pits. He's just backed out of that. He's getting held up massively there by Toto. I think he had a bit of better pace at this point, but probably a wise idea is to come into the pits. So Tipsy and Speedy as well in the pits, and Terror. Terror is
Yeah.
actually, I was gonna say he's actually jumped Speedy, but yeah, Speedy takes back that P1 position. Well, effective
Yeah.
P1 position, but he's gonna come out in P7, P8. So Hugo still to pit, as has Toto. They're deciding to run one lap longer on those soft tires. And
Yeah.
Hugo getting a wee bit wide. There's another 3 seconds for
Jen-
Jensen, so
yeah.
that's not.
That's 9 seconds, I think, now for Jensen.
Yeah, that's going to be so costly. Like, no matter where he finishes now, it's going to really compromise him. There's Icewind with another penalty himself. And, yeah, it's just, I mean, it's so difficult not to get penalties in this track. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, we joke about me being slow, but that's my mindset yesterday was just, even if I have just to be super cautious, like, try not to pick up penalties. And I didn't until the last few laps of the race. I think I picked up the least amount of penalties, one 3 second penalty, but yeah, there's some guys out here I haven't picked up penalties, and we're
Yeah.
approaching the halfway point.
Yeah. Speedy
Timo,
has no warnings.
did I just miss a pass there of Timo on Keyboard Magnussen? I did, but Timo
Yeah.
compromised his exit, and Keyboard gets to
Yeah.
move back.
Oh, they're side by side.
Yee.
Oh,
Oh, Timo,
Thimo.
Timo!
Oh,
Oh
contact.
dear. Yeah, contact. Keyboard comes off the worst for that. It looked like, yeah, I mean, it's just hard racing. I mean, it's hard to call live action like
Yeah.
that, but it did look like just a bit of hard racing, and
Yeah.
fortunately,
I
Keyboard
think.
Magnussen came out the worst.
Yeah, I think he put his nose in where it maybe didn't really belong.
Yeah, a bit ambitious, but I mean, as I say, he's on the keyboard, so those micro
Yeah.
adjustments are very hard to make. Toto
Oh, Toto's
retires.
retired.
Oh dear, dear, dear. He was on the hard tire as well. Interesting. Why would he go on the hard tire? Oh, I think that might have been a bug. We've seen that before, where you've got soft selected and it just for some reason gives you a hard tire. Either that, or he's had a bit of a brain fart.
Yeah, he's retired in the pits, so I guess he got messed around with the tires and rage quitted.
Oh, and here's a battle here. Foreman Danny Coe is all over the back of Timo. Timo is going to feel the pressure here. Danny Coe's he's going to want to make a pass very, very fast, but yeah, and Timo just kind of gives him the move. Doesn't want to get tangled up in a race that really isn't his. Yeah, Kitty Toto is dead. We think he may have succumbed to one of these bugs, one of the many bugs in the F1 game where he might have had a soft selected as a strategy, and for some reason the pit crew just give him hards, potentially, or else he just was
Yeah.
a bit stupid.
R.I.P. Toto.
Although I hear he's got an IQ over 1,000 or something. Is that true?
Supposedly he's quite intelligent. Like I think he's in uni and he's only like what, 15 or 16, something like that.
Wow, yeah, that's impressive.
So he is a big brain, except when he isn't.
So let's see. We'll try to figure out what's going on here because we've had the first round of pit stops, but we've still got a few guys yet to pit. So as we said before, Bance is in P1, but he still has to pit. So the gap from him to Speedy is what, 12 seconds. So yeah, he's not going to take a race win, but we are going to see a really fast final stint from him in the sauce.
Yeah.
And Nicholas gets himself past Keyboard Magnussen there without many issues.
A bit of rubbing, but gets it done in the end.
Yeah, interestingly.
Thimo picks up a penalty.
Oh dear. for Thimo. But we've got Danny Coe is he's now behind Jensen, so that's interesting. So that undercut from Jensen looks like it actually worked for him this time.
Yeah, it did.
And the driver who has lost out is Hugo, so he did the overcut, and it looks like that did cost him. That one extra lap on the softs didn't work out for him. Revo
Yeah.
in P11. So he's another driver who's made his way past Keyboard. So I wonder if Keyboard has got a bit, yeah. Keyboard Magnuson's run with damage. He's got a front end plate there, so he's kind of compromised his race now because he has to get there around about lap 17, 18, 19 to get in that soft window range.
Yeah. That's really.
Yeah, we've got Wimpy and Chatty saying as well that Toto's pit crew messed up. They put it on the hard tire, so unfortunate to see, but these things happen. It's the same with the actual F1 races. You see the pit crew will now and again have a bit of a brain fart, and Revo with another 3-second penalty. I think it's 9 for him so far.
Yeah, I can check that.
And
yeah,
I mean, just we got Revo on screen here. I mean, whenever I joined, 2SRL was my first league that I joined, and whenever I joined, I think it was the end of season 1, and Revo was just king. I mean, he would just win every race, dominant performance. Season 2, season 3, and I just was like, this guy is just an alien,
Yeah.
But then, the F1 2018 came out, and he didn't really, let's just say, he didn't like the game. That's a bit of an understatement. And then he just gave up in F1 altogether. And F1 2019, and he seems like he's kind of like got, one foot in, and he's not really dedicated himself to it. But we can see here, he's running up against some really fast guys. Icewind is actually coming up behind them here. So there's a nice wee battle forming here for P11. But yeah, it'd be great to see Revo kind of dedicate himself to it a wee bit more, and fight up at the top, join the likes of Speedy and Terror and Jensen up the front here.
Yeah. Worth mentioning with Revo, he only got his new wheel about a week ago.
Ooh, Icewind.
Oh, so
bit of contact with Revo there just as they came around the bend and the start finish straight. But I think Icewind's going to get this one. Yep, he makes it past. He had DRS there as well, so gets the move done on Revo.
Yeah.
And Clara as well. P10 at the minute. He's still the pit. But not a bad showing from him there. Revo. Oh, Revo almost hit the wall there. Struggling with his tire balance.
Yikes and Adam.
Oh, Revo. Oh my word. Oh my word. I caught that on camera. Oh, Revo.
Oh, no.
Yeah, Revo's pretty much out. He clashed against. He kind of, in the sector 1. I think it was maybe corner 2, 3, and just ran wide and wasn't able to get back on track in time, and yeah, collided against the wall. So I think he's probably going to retire, or else, yep.
Yeah,
he's out of the race there.
His car is properly dead.
Yeah, effectively out of the race. So he's decided to call it a day.
I think he and Tipsy had it coming together because Tipsy has damage on the front left side of his car.
Yeah, Tipsy's kind of fallen way down the order here, so that. But we're seeing Bance coming into the pits. Well, he's now coming out of the pits.
And Triton as well.
Triton as well, yep. So let's see where they come out. This is going to be interesting. These guys are going to be on the soft tires, so we'll have a pace advantage. Is he able to come out ahead of Icewind? And yeah, he's just ahead of Icewind. Clara. Oh dear. Oh.
Not quite.
Oh, that was skin of the teeth. 3 wide through turn 2 as well. Can we get a better camera angle, please? Yeah. Icewind's have none of it. He knows he needs to hold this position here, or else.
Yeah.
That bounce.
Yeah, runs wide though is going to make it easy for Bance.
Yeah,
but he tries to fight it.
Oh my word. That was tight. But some great racing here from Bance. This is something I always say about Bance. I mean, no matter what position he's in, he is going to fight hard for. He's not going to let someone just overtake him and not fight back. And we're seeing this here as he makes another move in as many corners.
That was a pretty nice move.
Yeah, some great racing. So already, I mean, he needed to get that done early, and he did it. He did it really early there. He's only soft tire, so he didn't want to get held up by these medium runners. Clara's still to pit actually as well, so it's great that he got a jump on him.
Yeah.
So he is 2.9 behind Thimo, but Thimo is still yet to pit, so effectively Bance is running P6 at the minute. He's about, what would you say, about 8 seconds off Hugo. And we've got 10 laps left to run, and the softs are going to last that long, so yeah, actually,
yeah,
I think he pitted lap 16 then, yeah, so 16, 17, so, and Clara in the pits as well.
Yeah.
So
wow.
all this action back in the midfield, and we're not even paying attention to what's happening up front. Speedy in the lead with Terror 0.4 behind. Danico has dropped off a little bit, but is still holding that P3 position. He's got Jensen right behind him there. So there is going to be a battle for P3 potentially, but this battle for P1 is playing out. I think this is one of the ones where, you know, this is like next level racing. You know, these two are they're playing the long game. You know, they're not just thinking about like, I gotta pass this guy and that's it. They're thinking about, if I pass this guy now, how's that gonna play out for the rest of the race? Am I better sitting behind this guy and just building up my DRS and just making a move? Because you can see here, like, Terror's got 78% ERS, whereas Speedy is having to use a bit more to keep ahead of Terror. So yeah, Terror is a big brain driver for sure.
Yeah.
We've seen this before, and as long as he can, you know, he's probably trying to, you know, put a bit of pressure on Speedy and trying to get him to make a mistake or two, pick up a penalty, and then effectively that hands Terror the race win, no matter the track position. But, you know, if he needs to, he's going to store up that ERS and try and make a move in the latter part of the race. He's very, very close behind Speedy right now, so just keep him within that I keep saying, DRS range. DRS, ERS, yeah. Very confusing.
Yeah. Triton has the fastest lap on the soft tires, 1:35.6.
Oh, very nice.
Good
very
lap
nice.
from him.
Yeah, he did that yesterday as well. He was effectively out of the race, but decided to pit for softs in the latter part of the race and just steal the quickest lap, denying the top 10 guys an extra point. But I think Triton is going to finish in the points today for sure, and Thimo is now, he's now pitted. He's got a bit of a task ahead of him. He's a 15-second gap to TipsyBob, so yeah. that keep an eye on that, because that is we know there's a rivalry there. And Thimo is going to want to he's going to want to get that position. So there's 9 laps left, and it's doable. It's doable.
It'd be doable if Thimo wasn't bad.
Yeah, well, I mean, I kind of I know there's a lot of banter about it, but I mean, Thimo to me is like, he's good. You know, he is very good on his day, and Tipsy as well. And you know, I do look up to those guys as drivers. I think they're both very good on their day. So we'll see who comes out top here. You know, Thimo is closing that gap down, but
not enough, I don't think.
Yeah, is he gonna get it by the end? I'm not sure, but yeah, Terror is 0.2. Like, I mean, how does he run so close behind another car? You know, I always kind of like hate that. You know, when I'm so close behind another car and you're trying to spot your apex and your braking points, and you've got dirty air to contend with, and then you've got all the ERS management in your head, and you're considering like who's behind you and penalties and all this stuff. It's like, how do you do it? Like, you know.
Yeah, I would love to have talent.
Oh no! Terror, 3-second penalty. Oh no.
Yeah. So, and Speedy, I'm pretty sure, still doesn't have any penalties.
And you know what's interesting? You know, we know those guys like to be in chat together, so I wonder if that's going to be you know, Terror's pretty open, like, isn't he? He doesn't really, you know, hide. had his penalties or whatever, so he
Yeah.
might have already said about that penalty, so Speedy may be aware of that. So Terror, at the minute, you know, this whole thing about waiting behind and storing up his ERS, I think he's to throw caution to the wind right now and try and get this moved on and build up a 3 second gap to Speedy, or else he risks losing this race.
Yeah, that's definitely possible.
And Danny Cohen P3 just having you know, he's just doing his own race here, and yeah, worth a mention there. He's within 3 seconds of these guys, so probably not going to be able to catch them, but P3 looks on for him at the minute.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, and keep an eye on this battle as well. Got P6 Bants on the soft tires. The gap is 4.4 to Hugo.
Yeah, it's pretty close.
So this race is not over yet. We've got 7 laps or thereabouts to go. Oh, Danico, 3 second time penalty. That might
That could be costly.
yeah, might cost him P3, but we'll see. We know Jensen has a bunch of penalties already.
Yeah.
Terror just getting a little bit of a yeah, a little bit of a tank slapper. Well, you know, the back end wanted to get away from him on the Terror thinking about a move there, and Terror getting the move done. Yes, as suspected, he is now past Speedy. He's got the move done into sector 3.
Oh, Thimo was disconnected.
Oh no, that's gonna deny
Great.
us that beautiful battle. Oh dear, 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 dear. Speedy all over the back of Terror. They're going to be going on to the start-finish straight as they've come around these final 2 corners. Is Speedy going to get a good run out here? He needs the best run ever. Speedy has a bit of a disadvantage in the ERS, but Terror just moves over and basically concedes the corner.
Interesting stuff.
Yeah, Terror in low ERS mode as well for most of that straight, from what I can see, and Speedy just in medium ERS mode.
Yeah. I don't think Jensen's in contention for very much. He has 6 penalties.
Oh right, I thought he actually had 9, but six is still bad, yeah.
Well, 6 penalties. No,
oh, 6 penalties! Oh my word! Oh my god!
He must be pretty near
Yeah.
disqualification at this point.
Oh dear, that he's going to be fuming in that cockpit now. You know, that is quite something.
Yeah, I think he only started practicing today, and I'm fairly sure he said he has a bit of a hangover, so rip Jensen.
That is definitely not going to help, and I'm thinking like Bance for podium, potentially. I want to say to chat as well, to anyone watching, what do you reckon? Who's going to get P1 here? We see Terror's got a 3-second time penalty, and Speedy is currently ahead of him, so I think maybe Terror he's potentially thinking right now, is P2 the best I can get? Because is it, you know, passing Speedy's one thing, but staying ahead of him with these 2 DRS zones is a completely different story, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm not sure about the championship standings. I know you do them, the Pixel. How's that look? I know Speedy's in the lead, but what's the gap to Terror? I mean, is this...
I can check that for you now.
Yeah, because I believe Speedy is in the lead in the World Drivers' Championship for 2SRL, but I know Terror was closing in on him. So
it's 23 points right now.
Ooh, that is close now. So Terror is thinking about damage limitation probably right now.
Yeah, probably.
And Triton actually getting the move done on his teammate Nicholas. So I wonder if that was Team Radio. The driver in front is slower.
Yeah, Hugo got a penalty there. So Bance is now effectively ahead of Hugo on track. And Danny has 6 seconds of penalties, so he just needs to get within 6 seconds of Danny because Jensen isn't a factor. So if he can get in that range, he's on for the podium.
Interesting stuff indeed, yeah.
Yeah.
And Thimo, I don't think Thimo even... No, Thimo didn't come back into the game, no. His AI pitted him as well, just to rub salt into the wound.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Thimo has crabbed which is very unfortunate.
Yeah, he denied us that battle. Well, rather, Codemasters denied us that battle. But yeah, Chatter sends Speedy, and it looks likely. I mean, that's the obvious choice right now. Unless Speedy, I mean, Terror really. I mean, if I was Terror, obviously my brain isn't quite as big as the Oxfordian brain of Terrors, but maybe Terror should just try and keep the pressure, on Speedy here and try to force an error out of him.
Yeah, I think he's trying to do your own mistake because Speedy's at 2 warnings right now.
And is it 3 or 4 warnings get you the penalty? It's usually
3
3,
warnings.
isn't it? Yeah. There's
Yeah,
Icewind. Icewind on Q gets himself another penalty there.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, and it's a tough
there's
race
so many
as well.
penalties. It's hard to say.
Yeah. I was just gonna say it's a tough race. Well, you just have to have like really solid focus for 27 laps, and you are gonna have lapses in judgment, and drop your focus now and again. Oh, Terror's going for the move. Terror actually passes Speedy there, so Speedy not fighting that too hard, but it looks like they're gonna go. Ooh. Oh, Speedy going for the inside line here. And he's going to get it, but can Terror stick around outside? No, Terror backs out of that one.
Yeah.
So as
surrenders that pretty easy.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Getting ahead of Speedy, overtaking him is possible, but staying ahead is like next level.
Yeah. So I break is the rhythm to force the mistake.
You're breaking up a little bit there. I think there's an issue with Discord or whatever, so I didn't quite make out what you said there, Pixel. I think we might have lost Pixel altogether, so...
I think I'm okay.
Oh yeah, I can hear you now,
yeah. Yeah, so what I was saying is Tara's just trying to break Speedy's rhythm, not stay ahead of him, not stay behind him, just kind of mess.
Yeah, just stay thereabouts, because you never know. With 2 warnings, all Speedy needs is 1 more. They got a yellow flag there. I wonder what... Oh, Keeper Mindson is pointing the wrong direction. That's not going to help at all, but he's back in P14, so yeah, he's...
Yeah, and he's a lot of wing damage, so that's it for him, I think.
Yeah, so P10 for TipsyBob currently, 12 seconds behind Nick, so it looks like it'll be where he finishes up. Maybe Clara could close in on Tipsy by the end of the race. I know Tipsy has at least 3-second penalty, so the battle for P10 is on. That is my favorite position. I think that's my peak performance position. TipsyBob is taking after the old man. I think age is maybe coming. Oh, he's catching up on me in age, so P10 for Bob currently.
Yeah. So we're coming around to lap the ghosted car. So that's a bit upsetting for Thimo.
It's a sad sight to see, isn't it? It really is. For Thimo.
Yeah. He is getting PK.
Oh.
And it's pretty appropriate as well because it's a win. So that gets penalty. So that...
And you know what? Like, even though the car's ghosted, if you're in cockpit view, that can be very off-putting. Because you actually drive through the car, and if you're going like if you're trying to spot your apex and braking points, it can be very, very off-putting.
Yeah, it's very distracting.
Yeah, Clara has got the gap down to Tipsy a little bit there. Oh, Terra is very, very close behind Speedy again. 0.1. So we've got, what, 3 laps left here. The race has calmed down massively here, but I mean, all it takes is Speedy to make 1 mistake, and Terra's back in this race. So I think we're going to stay with these 2 up front. Danico is catching him a little bit, but he's got those time penalties, so not really a threat as such.
Yeah. So Bance needs to close 2.3 or 3.3 on Danny if he wants this podium. So it's a bit of a tall order, but he might be able to do it.
Yeah, Hugo must be putting in some laps because he's maintained that gap to Bance on the softer tire at around about 4 seconds.
Yeah.
And Hugo on 14 lap old mediums, but Bance, he's coming to the end of the life of those softs, so yeah, it looks like. Are you saying that he potentially could still get that P3 or not?
Yeah, it's going to be tough. It's about 3 seconds he has to make up, but it's sort of there.
I'm just picking up in
Maybe.
chat here, Thimo, not happy. His PC actually died, so not a Codemasters technical issue for a change, but actual yeah, hardware issue for Thimo.
RIP.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah. I just want to point out, providing the comic relief in this race is Keyboard Magnussen on wet tires.
Oh, there's always one. There's always one, isn't there?
Yeah. So Timo's in chat. So I want to ask him, how does it feel to be PK'd by Terror?
Also, Kitty, if you're in audio range of Tipsy, tell him I approve of his P10. But if I was in this race, it'd be under threat right now for me. I do like.
Those are fighting words.
I do like my P10s, you know, and Timo and Terra, they always say if anyone's in P10 and I'm in P11 at the end of a race, you've got a race on your hands.
Yeah, that's the sour man. So you've chosen death meme right there.
So we're on the last lap here. Terror is 0.6 behind, so it looks like the race is effectively over unless Speedy somehow manages to pick up a warning here. He's going to be very cautious, but
yeah,
he's going to want to cross the line ahead of Terror as well. Oh, Speedy cut that corner massively. I'm surprised he didn't pick up a penalty there.
No, he did. He did.
A free second penalty, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh my word, I didn't see that on my screen, but yeah.
It's game on.
Oh, and he's in DRS. Terror's got DRS on him, and I wonder if Terror's going to know he got that penalty. He's going to see that he made that cut. And is Terror going to try he's going to try a switchback move here, but yeah, Speedy covers him off nicely. Oh, this is going to go down to the wire. But
Terror go for the lunge though.
It's going to be hard on these last few corners. Oh,
right there.
Yeah, Speedy got a compromised run there, but I don't think it's going to be possible here for him to pass in the final two corners. But what a finish there. Bit of a nail biter. Oh!
Speedy's back.
Oh, my word. I thought Terra was just going to grab that at the line there, you know.
Yeah.
But what an end of the race. So let's see who gets P3 position here. Looks like Danny holds on to it actually. Bance up to P4.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3.9 behind.
Yeah, the gap ended up at 4 seconds in the end.
So, and look at that, Icewind up to P6. So yeah, he jumps Jensen, who finishes P7. Triton with a good. Oh, yeah, Triton gets dropped down to P9.
Yeah, penalties coming in the end.
So good finish from Nick there. I didn't see much of him in the race, but just got the head down. And P8, P9 for Ferrari, not bad. Some good points there. And the question is, how many penalties does Clara have? Because Clara,
it's too many is the answer.
Yeah, yeah, it's over. P10 TipsyBob, I'm proud of you, my man. Proud of you. Hopefully I'll be back next race to challenge you for that P10 position. But what a race. That was great stuff.
That was entertaining.
You know, it's hard to keep up the action sometimes, but that's a good thing. That is indicative of a great race. And we see Wimpy leaving the session there, so he was doing a bit of crew chief action for Icewind, coaching him into that P6 position.
A decent position for Icewind in the end.
Yeah, definitely, you know, because he does struggle a wee bit with the penalties and stuff.
Noel's reversing across the line.
And that concludes TSRL Russia. What a race, a good, nice, dry race. And
Yeah,
Wimpy in chat very happy with his man Icewind getting the P6 there. Very good performance
yeah,
with Icewind. Um, Speedy on the podium then, P1 position in the bag. Terror P2 and then P3. A very solid performance from Danny. I mean, like
yeah.
he took it to these guys in the initial part of the race, but just just kind of fell off at the end. He just picked up a few penalties himself, but was able to keep himself in the running for P3. So good stuff from him. I would like to get a wee interview with all three of those guys actually. So we'll see if we can get that sorted. Did you see who got the fastest lap in the end then?
It was Noel. He pitted for soft tires later on and got the fastest lap, but he finished outside the top 10, so no points will be awarded for fastest lap today.
Well, here, I'm about to ask you a question, but I already have it in my head who this is going to be. But we've got driver of the day to decide on, and I just want to get your take. Who do you think should get driver of the day for today?
Uh, it's tough, isn't it? I think we should give it to Bance because he qualified down the order a little bit. He was a bit further back. Started on the mediums, didn't get any penalties, which is really impressive, and moved forward. So I think that was an impressive drive. I'd kind of, I think I'd give it to Bance. Yeah,
No, I was actually thinking. No, I'm joking. Actually, Bance, yeah, 100%. I just saw that
yeah,
come up on screen there. He had no penalties, and that in Russia, um,
yeah.
what he finished or sorry, what he qualified P11, I believe. Yeah,
Yeah, I can't quite remember. I'm gonna check the stream now just to see exactly where he
I think,
qualified. But
yeah, I think he did. But even so, like, I mean, P11, he put himself on the alternate strategy, and yeah, he did all the right things. He kept in with the top end of the midfield. Uh, didn't get any penalties, and that in Russia, especially when you're battling all other cars, is like in itself worthy of driver of the day. But then picks up P4, with the other guys picking up all those penalties. That is some
yeah,
going. Good stuff from him, Bance. Definitely want to get a wee chat with the man himself if he's about. So let's have a look. I need to bring up my driver interview screen. Hopefully I click on the right one here. We've got a few things labeled image 1, image 2, and I don't know what they are, so let's have a look. um, okay. For some reason I've got a picture of Gammon as one of these images.
probably for Danny.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I don't actually have a driver interview image at the minute, so I think we're going to go with Gammon. Actually, here we go. We've got a picture of my dog until I get sorted with a driver interview screen.
Wow.
I might put a bit of Gammon in there as well. Yeah, boy. There we go. The Gammon is for Danny Co. Obviously, had plenty of Gammon today in the tank.
This is a beautiful couple of pictures on the screen, I have to say.
Yeah, I don't know where my driver interview picture has gone to, so I think we'll just make do with Gammon and the picture of my dog.
That
Gucci.
works. Can't go wrong with a
Yeah,
bit of Gammon.
yeah, we'll make do.
But here, Bance, while we got you on, I did want to get a chat with you because, yeah, you qualified P11, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, so we kind of said on stream, you're kind of in a good position, even though you're outside the top 10. If you go for the alternate strategy, it's definitely a viable option, and if you can get a few positions, in the first part of the race, and just hold on to the front of the midfield, you're going to be game on for the final stint on the softs. And you picked up no penalties, which in itself is worthy of.
Yes, that did help.
Yeah, absolutely. And I raced Russia yesterday, and when you're battling other cars, that's when you're most at risk from picking up penalties, and you were battling other cars and didn't pick up any penalties. So, yeah, driver of the day. Yeah, just give us.
Hey.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, it's without question. So, give us your take on the race, like just how it played out for you.
Well, way better than expected. I was very much told not to take medium tires for the start, because of the traffic and the fact that not being so quick on the at this track, it would probably not work in my favor, and I'd just fall back too much. And like 2 seconds before the countdown for before the formation lap went out, I just quickly switched over because I thought, okay, maybe I should just try it. Might as well, because I wasn't going to finish well otherwise anyway. And then the start went surprisingly well for some reason. I don't know. I got off the line well, and I got past people, and then I was in P6, I think, at one point after the end of the first or second lap. And so I was like, oh, it wasn't a bad strategy after all.
Yeah, you
I
did all
got
the right.
Hugo on my ear.
You did all the right things, man. Like, yeah, you had to kind of like pick up a few positions at the start there, which you did, and it just played out perfectly for you, I think.
Unfortunately, my teammate got basically taken out of the race by a lag issue, because for many people, Terra Incognita was not actually on track properly. So desynced for other people. And I don't know, quite a couple people were quite hindered by it. Obviously not his fault. It's just Codemasters, but yeah, just a big F and chat for people like TipsyBob. That sucks.
Yeah, that's quite a shame.
Sucks, and the Codemasters factor is always there, and
Yeah.
know, it's sad to see, but yeah, I mean he got P10, so it's a good thing I wasn't on track today. I was just saying on stream, because I would have got that P10 obviously. It's never safe when you're in P10 if I'm about, as we saw yesterday. But yeah, man, that was great race. There was so much action to call on stream. It was hard to capture it all. You know, there was we were just in at the start as well. Like if you just look at the lineup, it's crazy. Like that's part of the reason why I didn't want to race today. I was really tired, and I was just thinking, like all those guys, like there's not a chance that I'm going to score a point today. You know, like it's just all the way down. You've got like and even Revo like on his day is like epic. You know what I mean? He's a very very fast guy. So props to you for the P4. It's not too shabby, as I would say over here.
Thank you.
Yeah, pretty decent.
And I'm just wondering if we can maybe bring in the likes of yeah, who have we got available there in
What
chat?
do you want?
Have we got Speedy and Terror? Wouldn't mind bringing them both in actually.
Oh,
there you go.
Happy days, Speedy and Terror. You're live. Please do not say F or bugger. I just want to get your take on that race. I mean, you guys were just running away at the front of the field there, but Terry, you were like within DRS range constantly with Speedy. So, and then we saw you pick up that penalty, and I was kind of saying that your strategy is probably you're hanging back and maybe trying to force Speedy into an error, and then in the latter part of the races, maybe making the move and then taking the win potentially, but it didn't play out that way. So, like, what was your take strategy-wise?
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't much of a strategy for me other than to try and keep up with Speedy, because like he was quite a bit faster than me. I was just saying to him, if DRS didn't exist, he would have been 5 seconds up the road. There's nothing I could have done. That was the only reason I was staying with him. So it was just trying to hang on to the back of him. Maybe the penalty situation favors me, maybe it doesn't. I got a penalty stupidly 10 laps from the end for no real reason. So I figured, maybe if we battle a little bit, he'll be forced into an error. So we battled for a couple of laps. I embarrassed myself and couldn't stay ahead, and then like fell off the back. And I was trying to get close to Speedy after that, and I just really couldn't. Like every time in the middle sector, he would pull away 4/10. I would pull the 4/10 back with DRS, and that was pretty much it. I just couldn't get to him.
Were you doing high and shit in the straight? Oh, bugger. Were you doing?
I was doing. I mean, it depended. When I was behind you, I was generally conservative.
Because in the main straights, it didn't seem like you were doing it, but in the back straight, you were.
It depended. I mean, if I was close enough to overtake, then I was. If I wasn't close enough to overtake, or if it would have been close, then I didn't.
Because you got really close to me in turn 1. I don't know if your braking is kind of nuts or something, but
I think I was I think I was braking a little bit later than you. Maybe I don't know. I think turn 1 was maybe the one corner where I had a little bit of an advantage.
I don't think 80 brake pressure is enough. I should have upped that a bit more.
Maybe, don't know. But yeah, I mean that was the story of the race. Like it was, my pace was flattered by the fact that I was in DRS for the whole race. Otherwise, definitely the second fastest car on track in that race was Danny. He was legit fast in clear air. And only finished a couple of seconds behind me, and then despite not having DRS for most of the race.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good performance by Danny. That was an interesting finish, but across the line.
I pooped myself a little bit.
I actually thought Terra was just going to nab it there on the finish line, but
Same.
Terra.
I thought it was possible. I saw him spinning, and I was like, "Oh, where?"
It was on purpose, just so we all know.
Yeah, no, I'm
Yeah,
sure it was.
definitely.
I'm sure it
Yeah.
was. But like, I saw him spinning. I was like, maybe, but no, it was. He judged it right.
Okay, good.
Yeah, Speedy, did you pick up a penalty in the last lap? Pixel, it didn't come up on my screen, but Pixel said he saw a penalty coming up for you.
Right, so my strategy in this race was to just go slower and not pick up any. Because I knew if I would have pushed how I did normally, I would be up the road a bit, but Terra would get me a penalty. So I didn't want it to happen again because it's sort of triggering. So I thought I'd slow down, not get any penalties. I had one warning after like 15 laps, and then picked up a second one 5 laps later, and then now picked up my third one on the last lap, going into turn 8, I think. Yeah, turn 8 it was. So,
Yeah, it was a left-hander, right?
Yeah.
For the second DRS, yeah.
And I know you guys are in voice chat, so Terra, did you say that, did you make it known that you had a penalty at that point? And then...
He went, "Oh, God, Mark. Oh, come on, Mark." I think I said,
Yeah.
did you say that? Or yeah, and then I asked Jeff.
Something like that, yeah. And there was a heavy
Jeff
sigh in there, and Speedy obviously put 2 and 2 together and came up with 4.
I wasn't sure if it was a warning or a penalty there.
And
Yeah.
likewise, Terra, did you know that Speedy picked up one in the last...
I knew he
lap?
was on 2 warnings, and I saw him cut the corner, and I was like,
They say you cut the course.
Yeah, I was like, that is a warning. I never cut him into this game. He just got a penalty.
I saw your first one, didn't
like,
I? Was it your one? Or was it Danny's?
Which one was that? Which corner?
Because you cut the Speedy corner.
Oh yeah, no, I told you about that because I was I think I was behind.
Oh yeah, you told me. Yeah. That's a silly warning.
Yeah. But no, it was yeah. So I mean, I figured that Speedy probably had a penalty at that point, so I figured we were probably actually racing for position, but there wasn't any. It would have been a ludicrous dive in that last sector. It would definitely have been a crash. So I just figured that maybe Speedy makes a mistake, and maybe he makes a big enough mistake for me to get past with the pressure on. But no, he didn't.
Well, it was close in the sector 3, start of sector 3 corner.
Yeah,
yeah, it was.
I broke myself a little bit.
We caught that on camera. It was pretty.
I tried to do the cut back, but you covered the inside really well. And you had more traction than me there.
Well, the traction out of that was horrendous for me. I don't know if that was for you.
Oh, was it? Okay. Yeah, I mean, it at that point in the race with the tires where they were, I always had to be really careful on traction. I almost died a couple of times.
Did you guys catch the dummy pit stop?
No, didn't actually see that. No, but we did catch that last lap. Kind of, when we actually saw you get the warning. It didn't come up on my screen unless I missed it, but I did see the corner cut, and I went, that has to be a penalty, and then Pixel confirmed it, and then we saw Terror, put the pressure on you for the final corners, and we were just going, oh my word, because the race had quieted down at that point, and that just it just came alive in the.
I can't believe I'm driving so cautiously the whole race, and I end up doing that cut on the last lap.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean it's really, really difficult to do 28 laps or whatever of Russia without getting a penalty. Basically every corner you can get one.
Yeah.
Even Speedy corner, which shouldn't be one. That's the right hand over the left, right, in the third sector. If you didn't know, the one with the wall, the one with the wall on the inside.
Yeah, the corner before the last two.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, it was a great race to call. I had a really good time calling that one because you guys were just, you were doing a long game kind of strategy, just keeping in range with each other, keeping the pressure on, but also throughout the pack was just a lot of battles taking place, and then you got Bance with the alternate strategy, closing in on a P4 position. So yeah, I think you're going to enjoy watching that one back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm sure.
it should
I'm
be
sure.
fun. Like
Yeah,
half
Chad
the...
Colin was also watching as well.
Oh,
Hi, Colin.
I think he stopped watching now, but yeah.
that's a
But
shame.
yeah, one thing as well that you guys might not have known, half of the field was like dodging my ghost because I
Yeah,
was
so we
desynced.
heard.
So yeah, like there was Hugo's had a scary moment. Apparently, it took Tipsy's wing off at some point.
Oh no.
So like that really sucked.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
that's unfortunate.
that's the
Yeah.
Codemasters factor, isn't it? It always, takes
Yeah.
some form in every
Yeah.
race.
Yeah. No, because I had a game crash on the formation lap, so
Yeah,
I guess that was why.
epic.
Did that compromise your start then? Because I know you can only take control after the lights go up or something, isn't that right?
Yeah, I didn't know how it worked. I'm uploading my video now, and so you'll see like it was a sort of semi-panicked start. I had exactly 6 seconds to figure out exactly what was going on because it put me in the cockpit. I wasn't expecting it to put me
So-
straight in the cockpit without
So
me
how does
having
it
to click
work for
anything.
future reference?
So I got put in to the cockpit.
Did you have to press anything beforehand?
No, I was just in like the screen where it says you click your car and then it says spectate or take control.
Did you have to click take control? Yeah.
No, I didn't. It was grayed out, and I was ready to click it. I was ready to sort of move the cursor to click it.
Yeah.
But then rather than having to do that, I got put straight in the car. So I was like, "What the heck? Am I spectating? Am I doing anything?" And then the lights came on, and apparently I was in the car. So I figured it out just about in time, and I actually got a really good start despite having about 2 seconds
I didn't.
to figure it out.
I've done all these practice sessions. I get really good starts, and the one time.
Yeah,
Unlucky.
it was that was an experience.
Yeah. Feels bad.
So is there a game plan for the championship for you two? Because unless Nick can outscore you, Speedy, by 22 points in Japan, it is a 2-horse race for the title.
Is Nick even
that
in
right?
it? I didn't know Nick was even in it.
Yeah, Nick's a
Nick
long way
is
behind now. Oh, why are
mathematically
they?
just about there,
Why
but
they're up
effectively
already? I'm impressed that they're up already. Good work.
Thank you.
So it's 92 points with 5 races to go now.
So his gap
between me and
to
Nick?
Speedy, yeah, it's 92 points between you and Nick. It's 122 between Nick and Speedy, so it's only just possible.
Oh right, so yeah, Speedy needs 3 points from the remaining 5
Well,
races.
plus the slap points
Mathematically
as
beat
well.
Nick.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
So,
that's true.
4
yeah.
points basically will do it.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I guess it is a 2-horse race at this point, but I mean, like I said, 5 races ago, or whatever it was, like several weird incidents, like the Singapore incident, like the Spa stuff, like the Hungary incident, like they that has to keep happening.
The
for
safety
the rest of
car,
the
it's
season.
Monza.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
has to keep happening for basically the rest of the season.
Big doubt on that one. Suzuka's your favourite
you know.
track? Or no, it's not. It's Singapore, isn't it? But
I mean, Suzuka is one of my favorite tracks, but I'm not particularly fast there. Like, I'm sort of as fast there as I am
I'm sure it's better on the wheel though.
other places. It probably is, yeah. I don't really know what the pad wheel balance is like. But yeah, like, I mean, nothing's really changed with the championship. Speedy has the pace to win basically every race. So all I can do is just hope he makes mistakes, and he didn't make mistakes today. So, yeah.
Well, not enough anyway.
Not enough mistakes, yeah.
Yeah.
And I got myself a penalty as well, so yeah. But yeah, I mean that's all I can do. I'm still a massive outsider.
Yeah, well, from our point of view, I hope it does go down to the wire. I mean, we've seen Speedy be dominant, not only in TSRL but SLR as well. But
Have I been dominant though?
well, I you put on really consistent, top 3 performances, and like
I've only won 2 races though.
Yeah, but you're up there and consistently so, and that is really, that's gonna do well in the championship.
I should not have DNF Singapore. That makes it look really bad now.
Yeah, but hopefully it goes down to the wire. Just from our point of view. And Terror is going to keep you on your toes for sure. But with some interesting races coming up, not really fan favorites or driver favorites anyway, like tracks like USA and Abu Dhabi, but you got Suzuka there in Brazil and Mexico. A few drivers do like Mexico as well.
I don't.
Yeah, apparently they do.
Yeah, I don't
So,
either.
yes, Suzuka and Brazil are the two that I would say
Yeah.
I would look forward to racing. The other three, I mean, Cota's like the first sector of Cota is okay.
It's just the last sector. It's
The
kind of
rest of it, yeah, the rest
all
of it's
cheeks.
horrible. Yeah, it's horrible. Mexico, I mean, I don't particularly have an opinion on Mexico. It's
Yeah.
not one of my favorites. I barely ever drive it. But I mean, I'm glad Russia's out of the way because that's a horrible track.
Yeah.
And Abu
But
Dhabi
now you have to
likewise.
look forward to Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be
Yeah,
fun.
okay.
It's been a blast this season in any case.
Okay, well, guys, thanks for joining us on chat. We're gonna move you out and get maybe
All
like
right.
Danny Co and yeah, Icewind there is waiting in chat as
Cheers,
well.
boys.
Okay, thanks for joining us.
Cute.
Thanks, boys.
Yeah, so we'll get Danny Co and Icewind in. I also want to get a word with TipsyBob. I think P10 guys should always be should always get an interview. So there, Icewind, we have you in the chat. How's it going, my man? A P6 performance from you, a very good showing. How was the race for you?
Yeah. I kind of bottled quali a bit, and I just couldn't get a proper lap in, and that's why I was a bit compromised. So I ended up starting in P8, and then the race was a bit of a because I had to fight so many cars on the opening laps, and I kind of dropped off the leaders pretty far from in that point, and then of course there was my own traditional touch with the wall.
We caught that on
cost
camera.
me around 10 seconds, I think. But
you'd be glad to know we caught that on camera, but I don't think you picked up any
Yep.
damage. Is that right?
I did. My half of my wing was gone, like not gone, but on orange.
Oh.
I had. That's why I pitted instantly.
Oh, maybe I'm thinking of
I
someone
was a
else.
bit lucky because it was pretty close to the pits, and I think I lost only about, let's say, 10 seconds in total with the swapping the win and the pits, and then.
Yeah, sorry, it was someone else that had hit the wall pretty severely and went into the pits and did get a front wing change. So, and it didn't look like they had any front wing damage, but yeah, the contact you had then, it did have front wing damage.
Yes, definitely, and they told me to pit. Jeff told me to pit as well because it was orange, so
yeah,
it was pretty bad. But anyway, even without that, I might have been able to fight for P5 or 4 with Vance and Hugo, but that's about it for me today, I guess. I had pretty good pace on the mediums though, so I'm okay with this. Seems to be a weekend of P6s for me yesterday as well. So. A bit surprised to get Jensen in the end because he took even more penalties than me yesterday. So we didn't expect that with my crew chief Wimpy.
He was
Shout
very
out to him, by the way.
impressive with the amount of penalties that he picked up today. That was what was it, 18 seconds in the end or
21?
Yeah,
21.
He got another. How did he not get this qualified? Honestly.
Yeah, 21 seconds. So I was just focused on keeping the Ferraris behind me at the end of the race. That Wimpy kept me updated on that, so I was grand there. Anyway, I'll hand over to my teammate Danny, who scored a great podium.
Yeah, Danny. Yeah, brilliant performance. I mean, that start. Well, talk us through that. I mean, that was pretty. Like, I didn't expect it. Because it was just like Speedy. Obviously. But I think Speedy got a bad start. So how was it from your point of view?
I just got belly and a wheel spin. Had a good reaction. And just had the straight line speed to get him. And I was on the inside, which helped.
Yeah, and you were doing well, initially, but then, Speedy just got past you. I think he passed you once, and you got back in front again, and then it was the second time you just couldn't fight him off.
I think I made a mistake behind him which lost the DRS, which then led Terror to get me. And then I was following them for don't know how many laps, and then I also made another mistake, and then Jensen was right behind me, and from there it's just cruising.
Yeah, well, good performance. I mean, I think you got 6 second penalties. Is that right?
9.
9. Okay, well, Yeah, but I mean, you did enough to hold on to P3. We've got the constructor standings on screen there, so you see that you guys are in P4 currently, so or is it
5.
P5? Sorry, not quite as
Trying to
good, but
catch McLaren hard. It's not gonna
yeah,
be easy.
it's possible. Like you both have great pace, and yeah, head down
Yeah,
is.
I just gotta stop hitting the walls.
Well, what track's next is Suzuka, so
Suzuka,
the walls are a bit further away from the track, so maybe that'll be better for you.
Just don't touch the grass.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
just keep it.
Oh yeah, I guess everybody else was, or everybody, but some other people had the issue with Mr. Terror's disconnected car because I kept running into him on track like 5 times during the race, or even got DRS from that ghost car one.
Yeah, we didn't catch that on camera because on our screen he was, he was where he was on the track. But yeah, we heard that from a few drivers that he was causing, his ghosted car was causing issues, and that's as we were saying
Yeah, I
before.
almost destroyed myself with his car because it was. I caught up with him on the main straight and got DRS on him, but the AI sort of drifted right and it almost took me into the wall. But yeah,
It's what we call the Codemasters factor. It's present in every game, and I think it hit Toto. Toto pitted and went on to hards, and I think that was one of those bugs, where it's like he probably had medium selected and it gave him hards for whatever reason, and then he just retired and gave up on the game then.
And I think TipsyBob had some issue with that because we were having a pretty good scrap with Tipsy, but I think he got wing damage from that terrorist ghosted car or something because he dropped back massively after the pit stop and wasn't able to hang on to me. But before the pit stop, he was challenging me hard, so.
Yeah, we're kind of joking about his P10 finish, that I was saying that's my, normal position of finishing, but TipsyBob, like, yeah,
Definitely had pace for more today, but I think he was unlucky.
Yeah, I think it's unfortunate that he had those issues, but it'd be great to see just a race where he doesn't have any issues to see where he could kind of come, because he could have been top 6 today, easy.
Yeah, and he was pushing me really hard on the opening laps. I had to pull all the tricks to keep him behind, so.
Yeah, I know that he definitely put a lot of practice into this one, so it's always unfortunate to see that, like bugs or technical issues or, affect your race when you put so much effort into it, It's different when it's your own doing, like with yourself, where you put yourself into the wall, like that's, something you have control over, but if it's something like that, it's just, yeah, it's upsetting.
Yeah, it was almost 3 wide into the corner, and I think I had my rear wheels on the curb and just locked up and couldn't do anything about it after that. Yeah. It is what it is.
Yeah, and then Thimo as well, worth mentioning that he had his PC died and denied us a battle between him and TipsyBob.
Very sad.
Very sad indeed.
Okay.
Maybe next race. But yeah, any final thoughts, guys? Gammon?
Yes. Are the fastest laps on the standings?
No, they're not. That can be rectified at some point.
Icewind should have a few fastest
Yeah.
laps.
Yeah, I guess we hope to bring the fight to McLaren at the later races of the season with Danny. So I guess that's our goal in the championship. Try and get that done.
Maybe Ferrari too. Maybe. Depends.
Yeah. That's not gonna be easy, but we'll try.
Well,
if you can bring the pace, anything is possible.
Yeah, there's a lot of points left in the table, so head down, as one of my good friends says consistently.
Wimpy kept saying that to me all race because I was complaining about being shit side today. Sorry, that's a bad word.
You get one free shit pass per broadcast, okay?
Okay.
But yeah, thanks for joining us in the interview box, and we're gonna move you out.
Thanks, guys.
Yep, catch you later, okay?
Bye.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
And I think the final one I want to get in here is Yeah, I want to speak to TipsyBob. Yeah, there he is. He is in the chat. P10, my man. What are you doing with my position?
Oh,
Keeping it safe. Listen, I know, like, before you start, I want to get your take on that race, but we've heard from other drivers that you had issues. The Codemasters factor affected your race today, and no doubt you would have finished much higher. So I joke around with it about the P10, but no, like we could see on the broadcast, like you did have pace, and I know you put a lot of effort into this, and I really hate to see, those kind of issues mar your performance. So I mean, tell us about your race.
oh man. Well, I don't know. I'm kind of a bit meh. I don't know how to explain that. Basically, right. So I've been grinding Russia all week because I'm trying to get back up to my pace that I used to have. Um, and it started off whenever I went into my living room and I decided to hook up my steering wheel. I know I'm getting off on a bit of a sidetrack, but bear with me here, right?
Yeah.
I hooked up my steering wheel and my pedals into the living room because I actually have a full stand for the pedals and the steering wheel and all that setup, but I can never use it because it doesn't work right with my desk, right? So anyway, I hooked that up into the living room just for the crack, and I was sitting on our wee single-seater sofa, and I was playing the demo of Project Cars 2, and I was going supremely faster than I've ever done in that game. So I thought to myself, flip, I need a big change here. So anyway, to cut a long story short, I restructured my PC room where I play my gaming, right? And I moved my desk back so I can get my wee mini sofa in, and I was able to connect up my whole stand and all. So I was able to race like that.
Yeah.
So my first race was yesterday in the tier 1, and I think I did pretty decently, all things considered. I had a few issues in that race, but I did all right. I thought to myself, right, I'm well placed for this race. So this race came along, and I was able to get like 1 minute 31s, 7s in Grand Prix mode, but I could never get that in qualifying. Anyway, cut a long story short, managed to get it in P10, and I got a good start, and I managed to keep up with Bance and a few others. Now I had Toto on my back, and I know he's just recently dropped the line for this race, so I don't want to be too hard on him because, I want to encourage him to keep it off because he's definitely got the pace. But he was struggling, of course, with the break points, so I got hit at least 3 times, and I thought I was going to completely lose it. Which kind of kept every time I was catching up with Bance, that kind of kept knocking me back. And then there was an issue whenever he ran off track, came back on track, and then broke really early, which almost caught me out. So I ran really wide, came back on track, and then Triton was on the inside, and I was trying to get in position for that corner, but I thought I left him room, but I think I maybe squeezed him a little bit against the wall. So I've already apologized to him for that one. But yeah, I had the great pace, and I was set up for P6. I was fighting Icewind a good bit as well. Anyway, I was set up for at least P6, which is usually where I used to finish in the early seasons, usually the top 5 or top 6. Pitted, came out ahead of Icewind, epic, got the jump on him, and then there was Terror's car, and I knew he was disconnected, but I wasn't sure whether he was ghosted or not. So I was trying my best to avoid him, but I don't know how it happened, but his car hit me, and I thought it was just a little tap, but it was much bigger than what I expected, and it completely destroyed my front left wing, but it was only on 1 lap mediums. So I was kind of compromised because if I came in the pit for softs, I wouldn't get them far enough. So I had to go a couple of laps to get the mediums to last long enough so I could justify coming in for a softs. But by that stage, I had everybody catching me. So I was kind of condemned to just stick where I was. And I was normally doing, I think, 134s, I think, or something like that in race pace in my practice, but I was way down to 136s. So I was 2 seconds slower than normal. Ultimately, guys, that kind of cost me my P6, which I'm really buggered about because I have been really grinding it to get up there again. And if I could have got my P6, I would have been full of beans. Because like I said, that's where I usually did finish in previous seasons. So that's basically my race in a nutshell. It's fighting like a mega style against Toto and the other guys to try and hold on to where it was, and then of course it wasn't Tyre's fault. Like these things happen.
Hello.
But Timo, I ended up getting caught up with that, and that ultimately cost him a race. But the only positive I can take from this, guys, because I don't want to keep rambling here, the only positive I can take from it is that I was feeling really comfortable in the tier 1 race against like the elites, all of those guys. And today I felt really, really, really comfortable as well. I wasn't freaking out or nothing. I wasn't uncomfortable keeping up with those guys. So I've got that to take forward to Suzuka, which is kind of a track I do kind of like. But I'm just
You also beat Thimo.
well, I was gonna say Timo, but
Yeah.
it's not. It wasn't
Yeah,
a fair fight.
you deserved it. You had that coming for a long time. So, you know.
Well, I've had the pace. I just kind of get caught up in we silly incidents.
Yeah. But that's my only skill. You can't take that away from me. Normally,
Well, Beamer,
not getting caught up in silly incidents is the only thing I'm good at.
If it
So
wasn't
if that's what I do to beat you, then you have to accept that because that's my only strength.
listen, to see if it wasn't, see for Singapore, I know there's joking aside, to see if it wasn't for those penalties, I would have pretty much convincingly beat you there. But
Of course you would have.
Timo, can I ask you?
I don't doubt that.
But it was your clean. You were just a very clean driver in Singapore. That ultimately that was what won it for you. And today I really did feel back to my kind of the pace that I used to have. It was just that one little incident that just completely screwed me.
That's what I was going to ask, Timo. You know, I know Tipsy, you had those issues and stuff, but at the very, before Timo's computer died and the race was over, Timo was on the soft tire, and Bob, you were on the mediums.
I would have gotten
with half a wing as
Do you
well.
Timo, do you think?
I think it could have been close.
Yeah, I was just wondering because there was quite a gap to make up, but you were kind of closing in already, and then
what was the gap with Clara in the end? It was like 6 seconds, wasn't it?
Well, okay. So I was watching you, Timo, before you disconnected, and I knew that I was probably going to have to fight you maybe the last or second last lap because I had no front left wing, so I was down by 2 seconds. And the guy told me, the engineer says that the car behind is catching you by a second a lap. And I did a couple of maths. I was working right. Timo should be on to me by that stage, and then you disconnected. By that stage, Clara was then the exact same distance from you or from me as you were, and in the end, he was just 5.8 seconds away from me.
Yeah, that's what I was going. But I think I was like 4 seconds out of Clara. I think I was a bit quicker.
Yeah.
I guess I would have been on your back at the end, but yeah.
Did you have any penalties, Timo, before you disconnected?
Yeah, I had exactly as much as you had, which really bugged me because that's been one of my strengths. Like we saw that in Singapore, not getting too many penalties. So in SLR tier 1, I only got in tier 2. I only got like 3 warnings over the race. So I thought, hey, let's do this. And then I got my first penalty in lap 14, and I thought, yeah, okay, I'm fine. And then I got the second penalty in 3 laps, and yeah, that was a big depressor, So I had 6 seconds.
I know you're feeling a bit down, Timo, but don't try not to let it drag you down too much, man. If these things happen, I mean, it happened to me today as well. Just think forward. You've got the consistency. Just keep at it, man. And a track like Suzuka, you need consistency for sure.
Yeah, it's just. I mean, I don't think we have to discuss it on stream. But like the point is, I just don't feel like I'm making any progress whatsoever. I mean, everyone tells me that I've definitely improved a lot, and I mean, I think on everything but raw pace, that's totally true. But like, I don't know. It's just annoying to me because I feel like I put in not as much time as others are, but I put in my fair share of time, and I don't feel like I'm getting anything out of it. The results are there, but it's never because I have been like the 7th quickest or something. It's always because I've been like the 5th slowest, but everyone ahead of me killed each other, and that's how I get my results, and that's kind of frustrating. You feel powerless because your race result is not determined by whether you are better than the others. It's about them throwing the races away.
Yeah, I can attest to that. I'm one of these ones, like a bottom feeder that picks off. Like yesterday, like I just picked up P10. Somehow it was a miracle. I did not think I would get points at all. And even today, I was like, and it is a vicious circle because you get into that mindset. You're like, oh, what's the point? But if you don't keep at it, then you're not going to improve, and then you are going to like suck in any race you're going to be in. So yeah, like Tipsy says, stick at it, man. Because sometimes you go through these phases where you have a bad run or whatever, but
I don't even have one. It's just like races like this make it kind of hard to ignore, but it's just not much fun driving around. If I compare this to like Assetto Corsa, in Assetto Corsa, I feel like my pace directly influences my results. Like yesterday, Hugos was just in a class of his own, but in Watkins Glen, I was feeling way better, and there I won. And in Road America, I couldn't do anything about it. So basically, result came down to me. But in F1 right now, I feel like, I feel like my performance in Bahrain, for example, where I got P11, or here where I would have finished P11 as well, are basically exactly the same as the ones in races where I am P7. It's just the same performance. It just the only thing that changes is how many others bottle it, and that's kind of a poor feeling, I feel like. But it's I've always been able to like not look at that because I always had my good results, but then races like this make it like bring it back into the mind, and it's annoying.
But like say for example you did get a P3 position, that's going to give you motivation to practice and grind and raise your level, and then whereas if you finish P11 or whatever, it is demoralizing, and you go, what's the point? You're not going to grind as much or whatever, and it can really mess with you mentally, So try to put it aside in your head or whatever, and just try and try and put the laps in, because I think everybody, when everybody else is saying to you, listen, you are pretty fast, you are one of the faster guys in the league,
That's
then
not true.
well, from my point of view, I think everybody's faster, so
but you've kind of I actually feel like pretty sorry for you, because I feel like you're stuck in the same place, but you're like just a little bit below that. So
yeah, the problem with me is everybody else is getting better as well as me. So I may have got way better than I was in season 1, but everybody else has as well. So I kind of need to find, we're saying on stream, I need to find a Polish tier 4 division and learn how to speak Polish and infiltrate them.
Everyone needs a Polish tier 4 division.
But can I just pick up on something Chief said as well there? He was talking about whenever you grind, whenever you start practicing, you're really putting the hours in, and then you get like a rubbish, result, it can demotivate you. Now, I would say that's happened to me before in the past. You put so much effort into it the whole week, and then a weekend you're practicing. Sunday the race comes, and it's an absolute disaster. Not necessarily your fault, but it's just a disaster. And whenever those things happen on a kind of a repeat basis, your desire to train and practice kind of wanes a little bit. And so I fell victim to that. But the only difference is that I'm getting just kind of back into the enjoyment of getting back up to pace, but differently now. Before, I was thinking I need to get myself to a level where I can beat the likes of Terra and Vance and Speedy and all those likes. But now I know I probably never will beat those guys. So instead, the way I'm looking at it is I'm planning to focus on myself and being as best as I can be.
Yeah.
The only thing I've noticed is, and it's maybe Vance is just having a bad day, but I've out-qualified him, I think, today and yesterday as well.
Did you though? I thought he put in a quick lap at the end.
No, he finished 11th. I finished P10 in qualifying.
Okay.
And so Vance has always been pretty much the faster driver between us. So if I'm able to beat him somehow in qualifying, then at least I must be pushing myself pretty far to get there. So that's the only thing that's helped me, in the sense of I'm not looking to try and beat Speedy or Jensen or Terra. I'm just trying to be the best I can be, and then let's see what else happens.
I mean, you just, in racing, you just gotta make sure to compare yourself to Ethnic, because that's what makes you feel good. It's honestly, I feel like the problem is just that I don't have that much time anymore. Like I slacked a lot in the last 9 months, and now university's back, and I'm not gonna get a lot of free time, if any at all. And then I also have that iRacing thing going on, and it's just, I don't know. Tusarol is so competitive and so great right now that I would really like to be part of the competitive part of it. Like, I always look at the minimap and I see that train battle going on ahead of me, and I'm just like, I wish I was there, but I never am. And But I don't feel like I can pull off Assetto Corsa being competitive, iRacing being competitive every week. I completely dropped this week for Assetto Corsa practice, and then also F1 being competitive, and it's just meh.
Well, here, Chief, did you get the big battle for like the middle of the pack on the stream? It was me and Toto and Ice and Bance.
Yeah, we caught some of it. I mean, there was a lot of action to try and pick up, so we
Right.
probably missed a bit of it. And I know that I did pick up. You were behind Toto at one point, and I could see he kind of compromised the exit of a corner, and you had to take evasive action. So
Yep.
yeah, we caught a good bit of action on the stream. It was a really good race to call as well. Plenty of stuff happening throughout the field. But just
And that in Russia.
just to tie up what we're kind of saying there, like as a league admin, I notice like you've got all different mindsets of drivers, and you've got people who put a lot of pressure on themselves and feel like if I can't compete at the top, then there's no point. But my mindset as the slow guy, is like I just like racing. I just appreciate whenever I'm on and I can battle with people, or I can try and nick a few points here and there, and just kind of not put as much pressure on myself. Like I'm the same at the minute. I'm going for a period of time where I can't put much time into it, and you've got guys that are grinding tracks constantly, and like they're really devoting themselves to it. And I don't think I'm ever going to be up, in the top five of the, either of SLR or 2SRL, whatever. But I think, I'd like to see drivers like yourself and Tipsy just, kind of not put so much pressure on themselves and just enjoy the race, and just, the battles that they can kind of take part in.
Well, I would agree with you there, Chief, and I don't really feel I put any pressure on myself anymore. I'm just trying to get myself up to a level where I knew I could be. And I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm feeling pretty comfortable in terms of my pace in that last two races. So, I mean, I'm happy enough. Like, I know what you're saying though, because I mean, I was practicing all week, and after changing my seating position and where I've moved my desk and all, I was able to shave half a second off my overall time, which is massive improvement for me. But whenever you do that, I'm thinking to myself, happy days, I've got a fantastic improvement here. I'm going to be able to challenge for podiums. And then you can see like, people like Speedy, 1 minute 30s in Russia. And it's like, well,
Yeah.
I thought I've improved, but I've quite a bit to go yet. So instead, the way I focused it in is just trying to finish the race as cleanly as possible. That's the way I looked at it.
Yeah. So I think we've hit the 2 hour mark there. So and we're down to 4 viewers.
Yeah.
I think I think we should
Not only
wrap
the
it up
viewers
for
is
now.
me, by the way.
And one's me, and probably one of
So,
each of us in
thank you.
here. And I know Jensen is probably he's wanting to sleep now because he does like to listen to me before he goes to sleep at night. It sends him into a very very deep sleep. Just listen to my lovely warm monotone tones.
Well,
So
before you sign off, Chief, just let me want to thank you and Pixel for giving us the wee stream, because it's a real shame that we don't, sometimes we don't get the streams on Sundays, because you do often get quite pretty epic races on Sundays.
yeah,
So again, thanks to you guys.
yeah, I know I always miss it if there's not a stream on there because I like to watch my race videos. So with that said, so yeah, we'll finish it up then. Great race all around from everybody, and we'll catch you again next week. We've got Thursday SLR is tier 2. We're at Suzuka this week, a driver and fan favorite, and of course Assetto Corsa will be not this Saturday but the one after. But we do have tier 1 SLR on Saturday, and then on Sunday we have 2SRL is back for hopefully another epic race. Suzuka is always one one to watch. Everybody well, I say everybody, there's always an exception, but most people love Suzuka, so
Oh yeah.
I can already hear the grinding going on in the background. If you listen, you can hear that going on, and as people try and get that extra 10 for 2. But yeah, we'll join you again on Thursday, and thanks everyone for watching. We'll catch you next time. Later.
Bye.